tuned for A Close Look At, coming up next, only on the Guitar Channel.
The Guitar Channel presents A Close Look At with Gordon Close, featuring special guest Buster B. Jones.
Hello there. Welcome to A Close Look At. I'm Gordon Close, and we'd like to welcome you to an interview show where we have some of the finest guitarists you've ever heard. I want you to notice that this style, the Travis style or Chet Atkins style, however you know it as, was done very simply and done with a flat pick, which means I broke all the rules, did it all incorrectly. I've got a guest with me today that plays it the right way, plays 5 times more notes than I can ever get out of the guitar, and I'd like you to meet Buster B. Jones.
Thanks,
Buster,
man.
It's nice to have you here.
I'm curious how you can do that with a flat pick, man. I've never seen that done like that. You're great at it.
It's an interesting thing. I use a flat pick and my little finger.
Well, I use my little finger because nobody told me I couldn't, but I never could hold on to the flat pick. I always dropped it.
I think it's a situation where I think once you try to pick up a style like this after listening to records and so on, that you start to do it your own way, and then until somebody tells you you're doing it wrong, you change something. But
well, that's what happened to me as a kid, you know, because I learned from a record player. I didn't have a teacher, so I ended up with all kinds of unorthodox ways of doing things.
But you're using the right fingers now, which is nice, and a thumb pick.
Well, I throw a couple of extras in when nobody's looking.
You get an awful lot of notes out of there that I don't think I'll ever be able to get just by using a pick and a thumb, or a pick and a little finger, which is what I'm really trying to do it with.
Well, you know, there's a good reason for that. When I was a kid, you know, I guess I was a prime candidate for Redland or something, so my folks couldn't afford that, so they got me a guitar and a record player, honestly, that spun too fast. And so everything that Chet and Jerry and Merle would play in like the key of G, on my record player was in the key of A.
Right, and
so, yeah,
faster speed, sure.
I was just trying to keep up with them, and when I finally met them, I thought they just got old.
What a terrific way to practice. This is a hint for everybody out on the market, I think. If they want to learn to play guitar, speed up a tape and a record.
Everybody's trying to slow my stuff down to learn it. They need to speed it back up so they can play it with me.
I think it's terrific.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play you a song. My guitar is tuned to a chord. And you can play everything with one finger. But I'm going to throw the other ones in there just because I can. It's called Wild Turkey. It goes like this. Thank you.
How old were you when you first started?
I guess I was about 9 when I started the guitar. I started playing mandolin and fiddle when I was 3 or 4.
But that's a smaller neck and a real tight.
Oh, yeah. But you get a sense of, musicianship. I never could say that word. And how to play with others. You learn where the notes are. And once you learn one instrument, learning another one is really not that difficult. And so when they threw me out of the school symphony when I was 9, my dad started me on the guitar, and I've loved him ever since then for that.
I had that problem too when I was young. I wanted to play an instrument, and I tried a trumpet. Said, no, you couldn't play trumpet because of your overbite or something. And said, okay, how about saxophone? No, you can't do that. I said, I'll show them, I'll play guitar. And at that time, I think when growing up, no one played guitar. No one cared at that time. So
And now it's the most popular instrument.
it was an exciting move, I think. I think we did the right thing. You do something that I find very intriguing, and that is you play thumb style, finger style picking on a nylon string guitar. And no one does that. Everybody plays a steel string guitar when you do that. Everybody knows that.
Well,
Why are you doing that?
Jerry Reed was doing that years and years ago as well. But when I heard him play, honestly, I thought, here's a guy that plays the guitar just like me. I didn't know he was a big star. I knew he had a record out. But then I found out he was a movie actor and this great guitar composer and all that stuff. And now, of course, friends, in fact, he didn't want to do his teaching video, so I did it for him.
I know you have a new one out, actually.
Yeah,
I think
there's 8 or 9 videos out now. Multi-level, some are for beginners, some are for the advanced player. I teach composition, I teach all the mechanics of what I do as well as what Merle and Chet and Jerry did, because those were the blocks that poured my foundation musically. And I love to teach. That's my second favorite thing next to playing.
You have some very nice videos out. I hope people pick up on those. It's a tremendous way to actually learn today. It's nice to study with a guitar teacher, and we always encourage that on a local basis. But there are so many nice videos out, and yours are terrific as far as
Well, I've had a lot of
style.
people ask me, Buster, you wrote a whole bunch of new songs. When are you going to teach them? And I said, well, I'm not going to teach anymore. And the reason for that is all of the videos that I've put out now teach all the fundamentals. They teach all the tricks. I teach you how to think to make your own mind work, And basically what we've done with videos and computers and televisions and stuff is we've robbed these young kids of their own mind. They end up being little robots that play like me or Jerry or Chet. And so now what I'm telling them is when you buy the CD, go home and listen to it.
You don't want to lose your individual style.
Exactly. They don't realize that all those little mistakes that you make along the way, that's your music of tomorrow.
Well, and you learn by your mistakes.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have to buy the ones that are available if you want them, because there's not going to be any more.
Well, I think what's interesting though too, in following you around on the tours that you take and the concerts that you perform, I've known you in the past to sit around in the afternoon and sit down with somebody and show them one of the tricks, one of the licks anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So you're always teaching. Every time you have a chance to sit down with guitarists,
Oh, yeah,
I think you're
festivals
always
and
doing
stuff,
that.
yeah. No, I'll sit for hours with them. I think I set some kind of a record in Nashville. I think I sat with those kids something like 18 hours.
Is that right?
Yeah, I wore all those young kids, all their hands got tired, and they couldn't believe this old man.
Do you think they went home and remembered everything you showed them, or did they just go home in a daze?
Oh, no, they probably forgot most of it, But one of the things I found to be terribly amusing was, I was playing a lot more melodic stuff and some, beautiful pieces that I've made up, and they said, man, is the machine gun dead? You're not playing fast anymore. And I told them, I said, well, my lap time's not as good, but I can still smoke the tires.
That's great.
So I'm not as old as I think I am.
Well, a guitar is a beautiful instrument. It doesn't have to be played fast all the time.
No, I just got a reputation for that because of my youth,
Your youth.
Well, that wore off some time ago.
I think it's still there. Well, it's exciting to hear you play and exciting to watch what you're able to do with a
I
guitar.
thank you for that. It's great to be here.
It's a lot of fun. Why don't you, if you have something real simple that's real slow and melodic, why don't you play us some little simple tune?
Okay, let's take, we're going to drop a D here.
Okay. fantastic.
It's a real
That's
simple
great.
one there.
That's very nice. That's very pretty. And it
Made
also,
that up for a girl, you know.
Oh, we made it up for a
Oh,
girl.
yeah. We got to get inspiration
talk
wherever
about
we
this?
can. No, no, we shouldn't.
Inspiration comes from all sorts.
Yeah.
We won't go beyond that.
The Guitar Channel, your original source for everything guitar.
Since this is the Guitar Channel, tell us about what you're playing and why you play it.
Okay, this is actually called Pearl.
Pearl,
I named my
that's right.
guitars. I can't help it. I'm a sentimental guy. And it's just a rack guitar made by the Godin Company in Montreal,
Robert
Canada.
Godin.
Robert Godin, right. Kind of the Leo Fender of today. You know, he's always trying to reinvent the guitar to make the guitar players happier. And when he built this one, he sure made me happy.
I would
Now,
say.
it's kind of a classical guitar with the strings, you know, we call them gut strings back home. But it's got a Richard McClish pickup system in it, which I think is just the most brilliant pickup in the world for me anyway, because it's so dynamic and I can get real sweet and pretty with it, or I can get loud and mean. And this is just my favorite guitar in the world. I hate to leave home without this. And every now and then I'll try another guitar, and boy, I can't wait to get home to Pearl.
Just to see if Pearl's the one for you.
Right, but this is a rack guitar that they sent out to California and had a wonderful luthier out there named Harvey Leach.
Right. Harvey's.
They did all this pearl inlay for me. They made
Absolutely.
one for me and one for Tom Bresch and put our names in them, and I was so happy.
Harvey does a wonderful job on inlay
Oh,
work.
he's fantastic.
Absolutely.
So,
And
long
this
and
guitar, if
short
I remember correctly, the last time I heard you play, is also synth access. Say that too.
synth, yeah, I have trouble with that one too. Yeah, it is. It has synth out on it. And for you people who don't know what all that sort of thing is, you know, for years the keyboard players have been spoiled because they could play all of these different orchestra and drums and things of that nature. Well, now you can do it on the guitar, and I can plug in and play, piano or
Play a
orchestras.
flute part, even though it doesn't fit
Yeah.
in with his style.
And which is great because, you know, the big craze now is home studios. They're so
Absolutely.
inexpensive. And basically, you can make a high quality recording at home that would meet right up to what RCA was making
Very
15
good,
years
that's
ago.
correct.
You know,
And I think it's wonderful to note that guitar players don't have to become keyboard players just to get the multi-layered parts. And
no,
different
and it's a good
sounds.
thing because we can't afford them.
Most of us can't play one.
But this is just truly, it's a hybrid guitar. Robert Godin outdid himself when he came up with this one. And,
He has quite a guitar line, though, and for people who don't need synth or need a nylon string, they make it as a steel string, I understand. And
exactly, yeah. He tries to touch everybody, you know.
out of Montreal, Canada, and I think they also have a place in a factory in the United States. So it's North American made. It's not an offshore product.
Exactly. Something we can all be proud of.
Absolutely.
Our sister
Absolutely.
country.
We have to keep peace with that one anyway. Well, you had a comment earlier about playing sweet and gentle, but also really, really blasting away on this guitar. Do you have anything that you could play for us that really punches a little bit? And
I'll play you just a little snippet like I did the last one. This is a little piece of a thing I came up with one night. I played it for my hero, Chet Atkins. He said, Buster plays the guitar like he's mad at it, don't he?
like he's mad at it.
And I said, well, it was a bit of a fit of rage. It's called the Buster B Boogie, and I'll play just a little bit of it. It's hard to do that right off the handle like that.
Well, the guitar really sings. That's terrific. But I happen to
And
know
it'll yell too if you let it.
that's true. But I happen to know that he tried to. He played this song. He didn't try. He did it after 300 or 400 miles worth of driving and that sort of thing, and this is not loosening up or being able to play for quite a while, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I wake up in the morning and I still feel the steering wheel in my hands.
I'll
I think
bet.
we're nearing 4,000 miles here in probably the last 10 days or something
And
like
this is
that. You
one of
have to
these-
ask Tom. He knows the numbers better than I do.
This is one of these high-class tours where you've got this large bus and an entourage of people to carry your gear and a bus driver
No,
and that
no,
sort of
this
thing.
is the real thing, man. This is what it's all about. This is a convertible and 90
convertible.
miles an hour, and he's doing a video editing on one side.
And who's your special driver when you were,
I believe that would be me, but actually he's logging in more miles than me.
that being Tom Bresch?
Yeah,
That's right.
he outdrives me, and I can't even turn his computer on, so I just listen
What
to the
a
radio.
tour. That's
Oh, we're
great.
having a wonderful time, taking a lot of camera shots, you know, and
But you're promoting an album also. I understand
yeah.
you have a new album as a joint effort.
right.
Tell me about that.
It's called Guts and Steel because I play a gut string and the boss plays a
Apropos
steel
name.
string.
Absolutely.
And it's just stuff that people have been after us for, I don't know, the last 10 or 12 years. They've been saying, would you please make a record together? And we just never did it, or we never had time. And one day he calls and he says, you know what, we just need to do this. And so we went over to his house in the studio at Guitarville, as we referred to it. And a few days later, we had an album.
That's great. Well, I would imagine as much as you guys play together, it doesn't take a lot of rehearsing and a lot of overdubs and recuts and so on like that to get an album cut.
There isn't any rehearsing. If
You should
add
sit
up
down
all
and
the,
just play it.
If you add up all the times that we've spent rehearsing, it would make a good coffee break in the last 10 years. Tom will listen to something and he'll say, hey, let's do that thing I heard you do.
You bet.
And then we just do it.
Well, you both have great ears. You have the talent and the ability to do that anyway. It's wonderful to see two musicians just sit down and play.
I fall off more limbs than he does, but
Oh, I doubt that.
My name is Bresch. This is Buster B. Jones. Here's some songs off of Guts and Steel.
Stay tuned for more of A Close Look At, only on the Guitar Channel.
You're watching the Guitar Channel.
But we enjoy hearing you both play together quite a bit. You get to do that a lot in the NAMM shows, which are the music merchant shows. You get to do it a lot on tour a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting. What's in the future for you guys?
Oh, fame and fortune, swimming pool, new
Swimming
car.
pool.
I hope.
I love that. Well, I understand the album's selling quite well, so...
Well, we just can't carry enough of them around, so we have to...
when you start out with 20, what do you do, you know?
Oh, no, it's just cases of them, and...
That's great.
And it seems like at the end of the night, they're wanting more, so we're going to have to fix them up.
Yes, you are. And it'll be on every local market. You can just call in, write. What do they do to get a hold of your album?
Well, they can go to Bresh.com and
Right.
get it. The album company that we're with is, or the CD is with, is Solidaire out of California. And of course, BusterBJones.com will be up and running one of these days.
And you have your videos available on that too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I should be up and running by the time this
Your
airs. so.
teaching videos and stuff. You
But
better
yeah,
have
they
it
got to
up
go to
soon.
Bresh.com because that is the coolest website I've ever seen. So.
So that's right. Everyone has to turn around and go to brush.com for all the latest and greatest in news and tour schedule and the whole works for
All the pictures from
Buster
the
B.
road.
Jones. Yeah. Well, Tom takes pictures everywhere he goes. He's got a new digital camera that I think he likes to take pictures basically about every 14 seconds. So it's probably something he's going to be having on the air a lot.
Yeah, it's another talent.
Well, it's been
he has.
great visiting with you. It's nice to have you on board here with our Guitar Channel.
Well, thank you very much.
And,
Let's pick one together before we call it quits.
All right, so we take it out with the thing we started with and have you join in. I'm not going to play your song.
I'll
You
lay
can
in the
walk all
background
over
real
me.
gentle.
That sounds fun. Here we go. Add a little class to what we're doing. Take it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. That's cool.